Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Thursday evening, May 30, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I really appreciate the fact that you got my last video up to 100 likes, and I appreciate it if you get this video up to 100 likes as well. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We like the video and the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more weather lovers and rain lovers just like you guys, so that we can build this weather community in time for the peak of hurricane season, so that we can keep everyone safe. Also, share this video with your friends, your relatives, your co-workers, your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future, though they're in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at this tweet from Ben Knoll. He's actually a meteorologist at the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research in New Zealand, and from time to time he makes some accurate posts about the Atlantic hurricane season. So if you have a Twitter account, please ensure that you follow him. He's one of the persons on Twitter that you need to ensure that you're following. So he made a post today at about 6:19 a.m. highlighting the similar maps that he showed last week. He states here in this post, the latest subseasonal guidance shows a convective pulse reaching and lingering over the Atlantic from the second week of June through the rest of the month. This will likely make the environment more conducive to tropical development, particularly over the Caribbean. This may especially be true once sinking motion fully overspreads the central and eastern Pacific as forecast in late June. While tropical activity is not imminent, the combination of a strong convective pulse and record warm sea surface temperatures warrants an extra level of attention around the weather that may affect the tropical Atlantic in mid to late June. Reminder, it doesn't take a severe tropical system to have a severe impact. A weaker but slow-moving storm can have serious impacts, especially considering the extra warmth and moisture that's available via widespread marine heat waves in the region. And he's also one of those persons who is for the warmer the atmosphere, the more moist the atmosphere is. So who knows, with all of these heat waves going around, hot spells, if not heat waves, we might even get in on some more rainfall than expected, triggering some amount of flash flooding. And this is the map that he's highlighting. Basically, he's stating that we're going to be having more rising air, a lot of greens across portions of the Caribbean and the Atlantic in general, from June 14 to June 21. Then again from June 21 to June 29. And he also highlighted the fact that we're going to be having the opposite in the central and eastern Pacific. We're going to be having all of those oranges, even some greens in there, that represent the sinking air. Either way, he's basically saying that we're going to be having a pattern shift. Right now we see what the pattern is like, especially across Jamaica. We have most of the rainfall across the northern portion of the island and the western portion of the island. We're definitely going to be seeing a pattern shift as we head into mid-June and even going through the rest of June. So we might get in on some more rainfall across the spots that really need it across the southern and eastern side. Excuse me. Alright, so let us take a look at what the U.S. National Hurricane Center is showing on their 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We can see that there's nothing to show as of 7:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:26 p.m. Jamaica time. However, we're still looking at what the models are showing over the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days across the Caribbean, including Jamaica. We're just gonna be taking a look. We always look at these runs to see what has changed, because we know the updates come out every day at certain hours and they're forever changing. So we're just going to be going out to the next 168 hours, just like what the U.S. National Hurricane Center would do. That's the next 7 days. And we're going to be keeping our eye right here across Jamaica in terms of what's going to be happening regarding rainfall. So we can see that this is Friday and we see some green, so there's definitely going to be some amount of rainfall on Friday afternoon. That's according to the Euro though. GFS will be shown shortly. But look at this. Even on Saturday, this is 15th on Saturday, which is actually 10 a.m. and we see a lot of darker shades of greens across the island, going out some more. Even on Sunday we see more greens in and around the island, Monday, Tuesday as well, Wednesday, and then finally by the end of the 168 hours we still see some amount of moisture across the region. What does the GFS show for the same time period? Going out, this is for Friday evening. We can see some green, something similar to what the Euro showed. So definitely some afternoon rainfall on Friday. On Saturday, we start to see some consensus. Look at this. This is 12Z on Saturday, which is actually 7 a.m. And we see those darker shades of green starting to set in. Who knows, maybe we might just get a repeat of what happened earlier this week. More so in lieu of clouds than anything else, displacing all of the rainfall elsewhere. We just have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. Either way, we see that they are in consensus. It's showing some amount of rainfall this weekend into early next week. But as we start to wrap up the 168 hours, we see that we have some slight differences. Yes, some light shades of greens represent rainfall across Jamaica area. On the Euro, GFS is a bit more robust, but look at the rainfall and where it's located. Most of that rainfall should be strung out across the waters to the north of the Caribbean. On the Euro model, GFS has more of that rainfall stretching from the Leeward Islands, stretching all the way into the northern portion of North Atlantic. We'll see exactly what unfolds regarding this forecast, because we know these forecasts are forever changing. Either way, the takeaway is that it's going to be wetter, it's going to be more moist as we wrap up May and head into June. Hopefully we actually get some rainfall in the spots that really need it, and I'll be here to keep you posted on exactly what unfolds. Alright, so let us take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see that we have a blue spike line right here associated with a cold front affecting portions of Florida. We can see that we have a trough right here across portions of the Bahamas, a tropical wave across portions of the eastern sections of the central Caribbean, another tropical wave right here across the waters of the main development region, and another tropical wave right here off the coast of Africa. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with the trough affecting portions of the Bahamas. We can also see the clouds associated with that tropical wave across the waters of the Central Caribbean, more so right here, the southern Central Caribbean, than anything else. We can see the clouds associated with that other tropical wave, as well as the clouds associated with the tropical wave closer to Africa. Alright, so we'll be talking more about the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Thursday, May 30, 2024. It was stated that we would have received some late morning rainfall, where across sections of some eastern parishes in Jamaica. Then we would have received some afternoon rainfall across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica. And just like yesterday, we highlighted the fact that the upper level winds are still coming in from the southwest. So there is more of a high chance of there being a bias for the rainfall across northern parishes than anything else. And just for reference, eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. Or western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. While northern parishes, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And what ended up happening? At 12:45 p.m., we saw that the island was definitely being covered on the visible satellite image. Lots of clouds stretching all the way from the east to the west. We definitely had some clouds building across sections of some central and western parishes during the afternoon, especially across the northwest. So we might have had some thunderstorm activity across some northern parishes, sections of St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James got in on the mix. That was about 12:45 p.m. Then at about 4:15 p.m., another post was made on our Twitter page Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook page. On our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we definitely saw the infrared satellite images showing those high code cloud tops as represented by the blues, the greens, the yellows, oranges, the reds. So we definitely had some thunderstorm activity taking place across sections of some northern and western parishes in Jamaica. So a section of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, section of Trelawney, and St. Anne definitely gotten on somewhat of thunderstorm activity. And even by this evening, as we posted another image at 6:25 p.m. highlighting the infrared satellite image again showing thunderstorms affecting sections of Hanover and St. James. And we have some of our commenters confirming the rainfall in their area. We had Kimani and the Cut stating rain was annoying today with Jamaica, and when asked what parish that was, he stated St. Anne. This was 2 hours ago. It rained again since. So I guess his area is definitely blessed. Some persons on the south and east side would definitely appreciate some of that rainfall. But Lisa underscore Shorty stating Moby having it nice. Then we had underscore dot underscore Ryan stating we definitely getting it hard in Hanover with lots of lightning and thunder. Can't come plain. So it must be nice living in those areas. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see what happened. We had that buildup of clouds across especially northern Jamaica. Then those high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the north and east. So clearly we didn't see much happening across the southern and eastern side of the island at all. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite images, let me reload these images. So we're seeing exactly what's taking place. So this is as of 7:45 p.m. and we can see that the time is 7:53. So this image just came out at 7:45, and we can see that most of the thunderstorms have pushed out towards the west of the island, leaving back some cloud cover across a special section of some northern parishes of Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne. Still overcast right now, but they're not even noticing the overcast conditions considering that it is nighttime. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, which makes sense considering that they had rainfall today. 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Friday, temperature should dip down to about, let's say, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Friday. When we calculate that, that's 1 p.m. on Friday. And we see Jamaica embedded in some slight yellows and some slight orange colors that represent anywhere from 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of May across Jamaica are about 89 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 89 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 31 to at least 33 degrees Celsius at most. Taking a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we do see that Jamaica should be embedded in a lot of blues and anything else that we know represent a lot of moist air, and we're indeed grateful for that. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Friday, we do see the browns that represent the Saharan dust stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean, Jamaica, somewhere right here. And we see that Jamaica for that time, 2 p.m. on Friday, should be in on the low end of the scale in terms of Saharan dust. We see more beigeish or creamy looking colors than anything else. It's more so some lighter shades of browns, and we have those darker shades of browns plaguing the eastern to slightly east central Caribbean, as well as the main development region. Either way, we know all of this is pushing westward, so it's only a matter of time before Jamaica is getting in on that vigorous flu that we know is causing a lot of hazy skies, possibly triggering some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we still see what we've been having. The pattern has not changed at all. Northern Jamaica getting in on those lighter shades of blues that we can see by the key on the bottom right. That represents anywhere from 0.5 to at least 1 meter wave height, while the southern portion of the island getting in on anywhere from 1 to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds have been steady. On the south coast, those brighter shades of grays that we know represent anywhere from 15 to 20 knots, as what we see on the key on the bottom right, while the north coast having a mixture of those blues and greens, so anywhere from 5 to 10 knots at most. And we see the general direction for the winds coming in from the east. What we also see is the fact that on both the Euro and the GFS malls, the air is definitely going to be piling up across sections of some central and western parishes in Jamaica. So we know what usually happens. We have that daytime heating, we have those cumulus clouds building into medium level clouds, if not high level cumulonimbus clouds. And then if they make it up to cumulonimbus status, we might have the upper level wind shear, as we can see by this map, which is showing 1 p.m. on Friday, still bringing the upper level winds from the south and west, making way for more of that rainfall and cloud cover across not only some central and western parishes like what we saw, but some northern parishes again. So basically something similar to what we had today when we had those thunderstorms pushing all of those high cold cloud tops up towards the north, bringing more in the way of overcast skies and rainfall to that side of the island. So you might see something similar to that again. The pattern is stuck. Hopefully by mid-June, as what it's forecasting, we get a change in the rainfall pattern, bringing more so in the way of rainfall to sections of some southern and eastern parishes. Either way, if we take a look at what the rainfall forecast maps are showing, we don't see much in the way of rainfall tomorrow morning at all. Maybe some rainfall lingering in some northern parishes tonight. But look at this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS. This is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we do see the blues that represent rainfall, more so spread across eastern, central, and western Jamaica on the Euro. GFS making more sense, bringing more of that rainfall across sections of some northern and western parishes in Jamaica, something similar to what was just mentioned on the map. So this makes more sense than what the Euro is showing, and we see the consensus. So definitely a section of northern and western Jamaica are going to be picking up that rainfall at 3 p.m. on Friday. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast, keep in mind that both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on a Friday. Not saying that's going to be raining from now all the way up until then, but these are the areas that are going to be picking up the most in the way of rainfall. And we see the Euro showing up to at least 0.66 of an inch of rainfall across portions of the island. GFS only showing up to at least 0.36 of an inch of rainfall, but the totals more so across northwestern Jamaica than anything else. Either way, we're indeed grateful. We're in the month of May. We usually receive up to 213 millimeters of rainfall during this month. Well, this is according to this map. By the way, we know 213 millimeters of rainfall is almost the same as about, let's say, almost 9 inches of rainfall in a sense. And if we actually look at this map showing a bar graph of Jamaica's monthly rainfall, just to show you that different sources have different information, this map is showing that we're supposed to be receiving the most in the way of rainfall during the month of June. This is quite a weird map because we know we're used to getting the heaviest in the way of rainfall in the month of August through to October than anything else. So to see a map out there that's showing that June usually gives us more rainfall is quite weird. What, they're showing up to at least 260 millimeters, if not more, across Jamaica during the month of June. We'll see exactly what unfolds this June. But look at this one. This one is the one that I used to show back in the day, showing Kingston at the top and Montego Bay at the bottom, and we must do some calculations. So during the month of June or May in Jamaica, in Kingston, we look to receive up to at least 100 and that looks like maybe 135, maybe 140 millimeters of rainfall. In Montego Bay, it's almost 6 inches of a rainfall. And if we actually do our calculation right here, taking a look right here, so 6 inches of rainfall is about the same as about 152 millimeters of rainfall. So if we look back at this map, clearly Montego Bay gets more rainfall than Kingston. In June, it's supposed to even get even more than 6 inches of rainfall. For Montego Bay, it's supposed to get less in terms of rainfall for Kingston. Quite something, if you ask me. Keep in mind that this map, well, these maps are showing from 2019. The source is from weatherandclimate.com, so you can do your own research. We have multiple bar graphs like this showing Jamaica's rainfall totals, and you can make your own calculation regarding the inch to the millimeter converter map here. Either way, we're going to be receiving rainfall tomorrow, and we're indeed grateful. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we've been having those thunderstorm activities still plaguing sections of Cuba, sections of Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, more so those northern portions than anything else. Sections of Florida getting in on the mix, section of the Windward Islands, all courtesy of the tropical wave, gotten some of that rainfall from yesterday into today. Section of Nicaragua definitely got some heavy rainfall, not to mention Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar image of the northeastern Caribbean for right now, we don't see much happening at all. But I'm sure if we put these images into motion, we can see we indeed had some amount of rainfall across the islands today. So the the British Virgin Islands definitely gotten some amount of rainfall. Some rainfall as usual across northeastern portions of the Dominican Republic got in on some amount of rainfall. Barbados radar not showing much across Barbados at all, but we do see some hit or miss showers across the Grenadine Islands. Some rainfall heading into sections of Martinique and Dominica as we speak. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some of that rainfall heading into sections of French Guyana, Suriname, some of that rainfall across coastal areas of Venezuela, Colombia getting in on the mix, as well as sections of western Honduras. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we see average to slightly below normal temperatures for sections of the eastern Caribbean, while above normal temperatures are represented by the yellows for sections of northeastern South America, including Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, the ABC Islands, sections of Colombia right there, as well as section of the Leeward Islands stretching all the way back to the Gulf of Mexico, Central America getting in on the mix. So basically, majority of the Greater Antilles as well as Central America should be getting in on those above normal temperatures. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Friday, we do see the Saharan dust as represented by the brown color stretching all the way across the main development region into the Caribbean. But we see the dust dwindling the more west we go. So the Western Caribbean, the least amount of dust with those lighter shades of browns. The Central to the Eastern Caribbean and the Gulf of and the main development region, that is, should be getting in on those darker shades of browns that we know represent the very hazy skies, if not triggering somewhat of respiratory illnesses in some persons. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we still see much of the same that we've been receiving for the past week. Those lighter shades of blues, the mixture of those darker shades of blues that represent anywhere from 0.5 meter wave heights to at least 1.5 meter wave heights across the Caribbean, all courtesy of the easterly winds that we've been receiving all along, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 knots, maybe even gusting to 25 knots in some spots, especially right there near the ABC Islands to the north of Venezuela. Taking a look at the rainfall forecast maps, let's look at where we're going to be receiving rainfall within the next 24 hours. So keep in mind that both of these maps on the year and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Friday. And we see that there's definitely going to be some rainfall in store for section of Cuba, the Bahamas, section of the Turks and Caicos, section of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands right here, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico might get in on the mix. Not so much rainfall in store for sections of the Eastern Caribbean, including the Leeward Islands at all, as we see some disagreement. But we definitely see that agreement for some amount of rainfall for sections of French Guyana, Suriname, Guyana, Venezuela, the ABC Islands, sections of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua still to get some more rainfall. Honduras, sections of coastal areas of southeastern Belize, southern Guatemala, El Salvador as well getting in on the action. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus with this. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.